So as Marcy's getting hair stuff, we decided to do a glitter liner and we'll do a neutral lip on our model here. So go ahead and turn to your left shoulder for me. You can see a nice little pop of glitter right behind the lash line, very subtle, very fun. We'll talk kind of how about you can do a very simple, clean look, but you can always add more and go on above and beyond. The tools are what makes it happen. We'll be using the same eye palette that we've been using throughout the evening, so the one from MAC you can see here. And we'll do kind of like a very natural smoky underneath. We'll talk about mascara. I did drop her lower waterline as well, which is a great trick for photos if you're taking a lot of those. So I'll show you a quick technique to do that as well. And then we kind of perfected her brow because that was something that she was concerned about. Otherwise, skin's pretty natural. She had everything that you really see on when she came in. I did give a little bit of extra blush through here, but because we're really still going to focus on the eyes, we kept the skin really soft and neutral. Awesome.
All right.
Alrighty.
So here we go. Okay. I'm obsessed. So Dina's done a shoot with us before. She's so beautiful. And thank you. And I love this curly hair. So for some of you that don't have curly hair and you want to do this look, y'all, I just jogged back there. I'm so out of shape. Hang on, I gotta catch my breath.
Oh no.
Got a whole workout in.
Oh no.
Whew, I just hired a trainer last week. It's not working yet. But anyway.
It's not working yet.
Not yet. So you can curl the hair. One fun thing to do that is so in trend right now is to get a small curling iron. Actually, if you do 2 different wand sizes and switch out between the smaller one and the larger one and give you this really super fun curly look. And then you can go in and tease it out a little bit because the 80s are so back. And it is such a fun look. So you can do that with this look that I'm about to show you.
Cool beans. So using this palette here, all I want to do to emphasize her actual natural eye shape is take the darkest brown, kind of a stubby, short stippling brush here. And I want to start next to the lash line to actually enhance her shape. So go ahead and close for me. And as opposed to doing a sweeping motion, I'm going to go ahead and press it into her lash line. I start at the outside of her lash line, kind of working towards the center, back and forth. And as I feel comfortable with the actual depth of the shadow itself, then I can actually release pressure and do a little bit more buffing and blending back and forth. But already that does so much to define the shape of her eyes since she has a really good structure. So I don't want to do too much since we're really focusing on the liner itself for the look.
So I'm going to give her just a little bit of a deeper part. And what I'm going to do for this look, there's a couple of different ways that you could do this and achieve the same effect. You could slick this side back, you could do a twist back and really fluff the sides and the back and do a fun little barrette or hair jewelry. You could do 2 different braids or even 3. I know Holly wears her hair like this a lot. It's super cute with like the really small braids here on the side. For time's sake, I'm just gonna do the 1 braid so you can see the effect though.
And I'm taking a black eyeliner. I like a little skinny applicator because I will be doing an actual gel cream liner on top. This is to go through and define the lash line since I won't be using a black liner tonight, just to give a little definition. And already as she opens her eyes and looks, you'll see we're more defined, but not quite as much on the eye over here. And just doing a top liner up here is a great way just to fill the lash line in. You can even do a tight line. So inside the lash line, if you like a really dramatic look or you're doing a false lash application on top.
Okay, so who in here can do a Dutch braid? No? Okay.
Woo. No. Nobody.
Really? Okay, what about a French braid?
No.
Okay, so a Dutch braid is very similar to a French. You're just gonna go the opposite way. So with a French, you're gonna go over and under, right? With a Dutch, you're just gonna bring the hair over. And so that's what we're gonna do with this braid. We're gonna Dutch it out.
Love it. I'm gonna go ahead and start the wing liner application. So to make the glitter really pop, I'm using a dark base to begin the wing liner application. A nice angle brush. This one is a 266 from MAC. It's not synthetic, it's a little more of a natural, so there's a little bit of a flip to it. And with her eye shape, I actually am gonna have her look directly down, not close her eyes to create the wing liner that I pulled out, not up, for a little bit more of a modern twist on that liner application. So I'm grabbing a little bit here. This is more of a maroon color. Her name's Great Dame Fluid Line. I'm obsessed with her. It's not a black because I think a black's a little bit too harsh, so we did liner there for you. So if y'all wanna see this later, I can swatch some on your hands. And it's a great way to make her eye color pop without being like a bold color. So go ahead and look down, but don't close. And I start on the outside of the lash line using the edge of the liner to create that wing backwards. So as I'm creating that, I'm gonna draw backwards into the eye shape, creating that line or straight texture.
Okay, so I'm just working through and pulling this into a Dutch braid. And I forgot to mention I had used some of this, and I'm gonna go back in with it. This is a whipped paste. So any kind of pomade, a grip paste, something like that will help keep the hair really slick and tight as you braid it on the side.
As I've gone through and created the wing towards the outside, I'm having her close her eyes. At home, when you're creating this look for yourself, my biggest technique I could pass on to you is use a handheld mirror to look down like you're reading a book at your counter. And then as opposed to tugging your eye, press inside your crease. It will hold things steady for you and allow you to press and glide across the lid space without having to tug and add wrinkles. So a lot of people love to tug and pull. That's creating problems that we're gonna buy $1,000 skincare years from now for. So don't add to your problems,
Yes.
okay?
It's a really good tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So looking at her liner, I've done a little bit more of an extra wing out here. So I'm gonna go back in, just add a little bit more product, still dragging backwards in towards her lash line itself. Now the cool thing with this is, for those of you who aren't comfortable with a lot of application techniques when it comes to liners, we're putting glitter on top, so it's gonna cover a lot of your mistakes. So don't worry about it.
I love that. I've never done a glitter eyeliner. Have y'all? No. But I feel like it would be something super simple and easy
is,
that you
yeah,
could do
yeah.
that's a lot of impact.
So open your eyes
I think
and
it would
look
be
forward.
both simple but also scary about the glitter, so making sure you're using something that it will stick to.
A creamy
right?
base. Yeah. And I'm gonna use a NYX glitter primer, which is like literally $7 at Target. So it's something that everyone can go and grab yourself and play with.
Yes.
I've created a full wing across, and just looking at symmetry, a great way to do that is looking sideways at your liner. You can see the angles and see how they match as you're looking in the mirror forward. Weird technique, try it at home, it's lots of fun. So let's go ahead and do a little application of glitter. So we're gonna start.
Am I pulling too hard? Sometimes I'm a little rough.
So literally NYX Glitter Brilliance Primer. And the smallest little dewdrop goes the longest way, so don't go crazy. And I'm gonna use a flat style brush. This literally is like a little paintbrush you could grab at Michael's if you wanted to. I like this because the width of the brush allows me to pack a lot of product on and not have to do a lot of work. So I'm gonna prep my glitter. This is gold glitter from MAC, from Holiday like years and years and years ago. But any gold glitter will do, like they're talking. Miss A is a glitter brand we've also talked about as well. It's $1 for the glitter. So with this here, I poured a little bit into my cap to play with. I'm gonna use my flat brush here and my little palette and just grab a little bit on one side of the brush. I'm doing one side of the brush because it's a little bit more controlled. And have you close your eyes for me? We're gonna place the edge of that brush at the top of where we created that wing liner and pull down towards the lash line, doing that all the way across.
That's a great tip. Why would you do that? Like, why would you press it and pull it down?
That way you don't get transfer on the rest of your lid space. Because like her and I both have the hooded lid situation Josh was talking about earlier. So knowing that when you look forward, the glitter's gonna move a little bit. If you get even the smallest bit of glitter glue up there above that line where you're trying to create, you're gonna have transference and it's gonna be stuck a little bit harder than it would be if there was no glue to actually transfer that there onto.
I love
So
that.
same brush, grabbing a little bit of that love inside here. I always recommend tap off your excess, flick and do whatever you need to. The brush itself will hold a lot of product for you. And I want the most pop in the center of her lid space, so that's where we're gonna start the application.
Okay, so I'm just going through with this pomade wax. Sorry, am I moving her too much?
No, actually it was perfect. I was gonna say, she kept putting her head right in place of my brush, which is genius.
Yes.
This is the dance we do, right?
Yes.
Because this is often how we work. We'll come and do hair and makeup at the same time. So we do, like, we'll switch sides and we're like, oh wait.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry, okay, you're good. Yeah.
No, you're doing great though.
Okay,
Keep going,
well, I don't
keep
want
going.
to move too much.
No, you're doing fine,
Okay,
you're doing fine.
Okay, because it is a liner moment, so we
It
have
is,
to be.
and I'm almost done just because I'm using the right kind of brush to apply it. A little bit goes a long way. You can't even see what's on my brush from where you're at right now. That's how little product I have on there. And then just stamping it on top of the wing.
Do y'all have any questions right now? I'm like totally listening to the hair tricks because that's not my lane.
Yeah, but the makeup, we're both
I'm
like,
like,
whatever.
yeah, I do that too. But it's like, if if you all have questions, I want to come to you so we can talk about those. So like.
For
please,
those of you who
yeah.
have a larger eye space to work
Yeah.
with, meaning the realty between your lash line and your brow bone or your crease is much larger, you can take this liner as far up as you want to. You can even do a full like painted lid space if you want to and put glitter on top. For her, just as a simple pop, so don't scare you this evening, we just did a simple line, pretty much like less than even 1/8 of an inch all the way across her lash line. Just something super simple. So I'm gonna finish with mascara in the top lash line and using the same shadow we used on the top crease inside the bottom with the same brush. So remember this little dome-shaped brush here? There's not a lot of excess product on it. It's still that same dark brown, just something neutral to create shape and dimension. Look up towards the ceiling for me. And we're gonna run this from the outside lash line all the way across the bottom. Now her complexion was already pristine when she came in. I literally zhuzhed a little blush and bronzer and a little bit of glow moment on there. So if you wanted to go back through and kind of touch up a concealer and whatnot, I would do that after the glitter application because as you saw earlier with Kayla, you can use tape to remove any fallout. I just did an application and because I used a placing technique, nothing was falling out, nothing was moving around. But if you do something more grandiose, you might find a little bit of flake and whatnot. So concealer after you do all that fun stuff.
I love that he said that because tape is like just Scotch tape is like the only way really to remove a lot of glitter fallout.
Without
because-
subjecting your actual makeup
Yeah.
as well.
So true.
Down.
So, because it's picking up something that's an actual particle, so you just press the tape wherever it falls, and then it's gone.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through here and just put this cute little snowflake
Snowflake.
right there. And then pin that down. So you see how like you could do this with any kind of like sleek side style. And then it just really jazzes it up. And then with that
Yeah.
glitter, oh
Just
my
a
gosh.
pop or something
so
there.
cute. I'm gonna pin
So
that down.
cute. Love it.
Love it.
Keep looking down for me. One technique I always find women are flabbergasted by, if you have a chunky or really dense mascara, start at the the tip of your lash and work your way down to the root. So she already has a lot of length and I didn't want to emphasize the length, so I literally started at the tip of her lash line and worked my way back towards the root. No right or wrong, you're not doing anything wrong or right, but I find with a little bit of a thicker, chunkier mascara, that application gets you the definition you want without having like 3 lashes when you're done. So try it out when you're, do a little more bigger. Yeah.
Earlier you said something about underneath we're going to pull it down, or I don't know what phrase you used.
Yeah, the water line, we'll do that. So I'm gonna do mascara before I do the water line on bottom. Yeah. So it's this really cool tool I'll show you. It's just a vanilla pencil we use in her water line.
Cute.
So go and look up towards the ceiling for me. Now, a lot of women are very afraid of bottom mascara, and I'm a big proponent of symmetry. So there's no reason why you can't wear bottom mascara, especially if it's a waterproof formula, but you don't need to go crazy. I just don't like when women have like wing liner and then no bottom lash or shadow because then you just look naked down there. So just a little bit of love on the mascara. And then the trick that we were asking about is this tool. Now this is from NARS. Rue Bonaparte is her name. Comes with a sharpener on the bottom, but what I tend to do is just twist up. As you can see, it sharpens itself. This is more of a nude, great for any skin tone. And what we did is start in the center of her waterline and run it back and forth. So you can take a look and just see, look how this eye is more open. Do you see that there?
Yeah,
It's
you can-
just a little simple magic trick there. So as you're tilting back towards me, look up toward the ceiling. Start with laying the pencil on the bottom waterline and running it back and forth. One thing I will recommend is you want to find a pencil that is going to be wax-based, not clay-based. Clay-based pencils will break down with water very easily. Wax is going to stay and hold tight, let water roll over it. So when you think about that, I will recommend Marc Jacobs and NARS are the best eyeliners I've ever found in the world. So if you're shopping for a good eyeliner, find them first. But take a look now, you can see both eyes are bright and open. And when you're doing a lot of love on the top lash line, you want to marry something on the bottom. That's why we just brightened and opened things up.
They look so big. I love
Yes,
it. It's
yeah,
such
yeah.
a cool trick. Yeah.
I would love honestly, I would love a good pair of like 35s, some false lashes on
big
top.
one,
Something that's
yeah.
like spiky and chunky to put there to make the liner show even more and contrast that bottom water line there too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do a little lip now and yeah, cool beans.
Can I wear that type of eyeliner in the waterline, like that tan like anytime?
Yes, anytime. For me, I would say if you're underneath a certain amount of lighting, or if you're going out for evening where there's like a heavy overcast, the brighter the better. It's only gonna make your concealer look brighter, it's gonna make your dark circles look less intense. And you don't need to do it every day, but if you are someone who likes a more of a widened eye, like that doe-shaped eye, this is a great technique for that.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-oh, she's connected. So I'm different, and I do my lip liner first. There's, yet again, no right or wrong. I just like to define my shape. A little bit different than the other artists tonight.
Yes. I love that. I love that we find techniques that work for us, though.
Yeah.
Like, with hair and makeup, all these are suggestions. Like, they are
Exactly.
what help us work.
And I find, like, for me, I'm very much about longevity. If the product does not wear long, I don't wear it. Sorry, just not my cup of tea. So if with lip liner is your jam, you love lip gloss, but you want your lip gloss to wear a little bit longer, line the entire lip, fill it in. You can already see I've chosen her top lip, I've like completely filled that in, just to give her that really saturated lip and longevity for the evening. Because everyone knows you're going out drinking anyways, so you want your lip to stay tight.
We all know.
I'm just not a touch-up girl. I want to leave the house and nothing move. So if you're like me, there's always a way to make something last a little bit longer.
Marcus is a performer as well,
Yes.
so we can.
I don't like to announce that I'm a drag queen until after I've done your makeup, because the first thing I hear when they see drag queen, they're like, oh! And then we're adding glitter, like, oh! And it just gets worse from there. So she didn't know I was a drag queen before we started. She still loves the look, I promise.
But
yeah.
that is one of the things that we bring to our clients. Like we really do want to serve you where you are. So whatever the look that is you're looking for, that's what we want to do, for sure.
So if you like a 3D cream, blush, and highlight contour moment, I'm your girl.
Our team of artists and stylists are just amazing.
Yes.
I think the common denominator is we want to bring your vision to life, and we just happen to have the expertise that does it. So it's really cool. We enjoy what we do.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We have a pretty wide travel. I mean, we'll travel anywhere, but we do have a service area, and then beyond that, we can talk about travel fees and things. But we have a pretty big travel area.
Yeah,
that will
absolutely.
come
So
to
our
you.
whole base is mobile. So you can book with us. We'll come to you, and we do travel. We went to Chicago for a wedding. The artists travel. Yeah, so we'll go wherever we're needed. Oh, we'll come to Savannah. Yeah, so fun.
So I'm just finishing up her lip here. I chose something that's a little bit brighter than her natural lip color. It's a little contrasty with the top, if I'm not lying. But it's kind of like the approachable nude that works well with the eye focus.
I like the lip though, because it would look awesome with like a sleek black dress.
Yes, something very,
yeah.
classy, sexy.
Totally, very holiday.
What questions do we have? Any questions?
I love it.
So cute.
Yeah, any questions?
Questions?
Application? Tips and
Tiana's
tricks? Oh,
pretty
brow.
good.
I didn't hear the brow. I gotta do your brow. Hold on one second while we have time. I forgot her other brow.
Oh, especially because that's the side that's showing. We gotta get that.
I'm so sorry. I even have all my tools, and I'm like, and no brows.
Oh, well, since we're doing brows, let's talk about brows, because that's
Yeah.
a hot topic.
Let's talk about brows.
Questions about brows.
Say us.
Okay, so I want to take
We're talking about brows right now.
But she told me that she couldn't do a smoky eye, and we just did it in like 10 minutes.
Yes. I love the teaching
Perfect.
moment.
And it makes her eyes look very open because you're showing the lid. Yeah. You showed some lid space. I like it. And I mean, and we have great brows. So,
Only 3 products.
love it.
And one can be bronzer.
Yeah.
Oh yes, yes.
No. Like bronzer takes off.
All you need is some barrettes right here, and like that. You were saying that 3 thingy, the 3. Look at that, and some
Work
curls.
it.
She is ready. Ella está lista.
I know, it takes your life, so.
I know, it's literally takes off.
I love
So
that.
pretty.
That's a great moment.
I'm just doing brow pencil and brow gel. I know someone asked earlier about like the difference between the two,
Brows.
or what we prefer. I always mix, same thing with contour and cheek, like for longevity, a cream and a powder. I use my powder as my pencil and cream as my brow gel itself. For her, I just kind of finished the shape. You can see towards the outside is really all the help she needed. I can't stand the Instagram brow where it's like carved out. So if that's what your jam is, by all means, stick to it.
Or no.
But
or
for
don't
me,
stick to it.
don't request me to do your makeup and have like stenciled brows. I worked for MAC long enough. I'm over that phase of my life. But this one here,
Agreed.
yes, modern.
Yes.
The outside, like literally just the outer half of her brow is all I really did to finish up the shape. You can do a lot with that before having to fill in the inner corners here. And if you notice when you've done your own brows, if you start inside the area where you have a lot of brow to work with, then you end up with this chunky, thick brow on the outside. So work with what you got going on first, then add more. Brow gel, I just kind of scraped off the excess. This is a little bit more red brown than I would have preferred for her because she has no red brown in her hair, but it gets the job done for tonight. And I'm just brushing from the bottom up and out, just to give her a little bit more of a furrowed brow. Anyone know who Brooke Shields is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm obsessed with that style of brow. If you want full, you want bushy, soapy, like to the hairline brows, I'm your gal. But for her, we kept it more tamed down. So I just brushed up the inner part here. When you get close, you'll be able to see how the hairs kind of stick up out of the shape. I think that lends to more of a natural look and doesn't look as garish as you might think in pictures and photos and things like that.
Oh my gosh. Queen! So pretty.